The next time you floor it while driving along the highway, you may want to think twice. There's increasing chances your car comes with one of these. It's a black box. Even though it can help determine the cause of an accident, it can also record just how fast you're going if you drive from New York to Cleveland on occasion, and you're allowed to go 70 miles per hour in Ohio, but you might go 85. I'm not saying I do that. Along with lots of other data. And if your car doesn't have it now, the government is pushing to have those boxes installed in all new cars by 2014. Now, is this just giving the government the key to invade personal privacy, or... For more on this, we're going to turn to Lauren Fix, the car coach, and I should let you know that Lauren and I were having a great discussion. We're both kind of car nuts. I'm a Studebaker guy. You're a Ford Shelby person.
Yes.
Your daughter's actually named Shelby.
Yes, she is.
Is this, these black boxes are already on 93% of the cars. They're tied into, I guess, the airbag systems, right?
Right. They're tied into seatbelts as well. So if you have an Audi or a Mercedes, you're one of the lucky few manufacturers that don't have them. About 93% of the cars on the road today have that. And since the 90s, GM started doing it. And if you think about why they're even there, I mean, why would you even have it? Well, if you had a Toyota during that Toyota debacle, that was information that Toyota didn't want to share.
Right.
But that's your personal private information.
Who owns that information? For instance, I was alluding to someone who I know may be speeding on the Ohio Turnpike.
Right.
Who would own that information? Or is it information that's, you know, the way my cell phone transmits data and snitches on me?
Well, that's why I'm saying there's a privacy issue, because information belongs to you. The Fourth Amendment rights, it's your car, it's the way you drive, and would you want to give that information up? You're not supposed to. Fourth Amendment rights that are written in our Bill of Rights says that you don't have to give up this information. But what if you get pulled over by a police officer and those 15 points of information become available to them by saying, you know what? I'm going to have to plug you into the onboard diagnostics underneath your dash. Look at that.
It's not so hard to do. You know, you can buy these devices, by the way, to plug in for the diagnostics. $100 and boom. Police, are they doing that?
No, they're not. However, Progressive Insurance does offer the little box you can plug in.
That's right.
Do you wear your seatbelt? You know, do you speed? You know, what is your driving like? And then they'll offer you a discount. And that's great, especially if you're not a speader and you always wear your seatbelt.
And you're willingly saying to Progressive, which is, by the way, based in Cleveland, Ohio. You can tell I'm a Cleveland fan here.
Yeah.
But you're making a deal willingly with Progressive. Essentially, you're getting a discount. So Progressive is paying you for the right to collect the information. Right. I think there was a case with the Nissan Leaf, which, by the way, I got to test drive in Tennessee a few years ago, and no, we did not speed. Right, we did.
You can't really, well, you can't really speed in that car unless you're in a 30.
Well, no, electric. I mean, the torque is pretty good. But here's
they were cool cars, I have to give you credit.
But they had computer system black boxes that were actually transmitting data that Nissan was collecting so that they could improve the vehicle.
Right.
But that crossed a kind of gray area for a lot of people.
Right. Now, as far as collecting information to help for technical service bulletins, recalls, hey, we're having this inherent problem across this particular model or particular brand, it makes a ton of sense to allow them access to that information, because it's only going to help you and other owners of that year, make, and model. However, I don't want the government having information about the way I drive. It's not a GPS. They don't know where you're going, and but they do know if you wear your seatbelt. And that information belongs to you or to the car manufacturer to share that information. To have that available to the government is an issue to me, and AAA has always been one to say...
AAA is against this. They want privacy. AAA's actually come out and said that they want some privacy guarantees with these devices. And
I'm definitely in agreement with that. I want some privacy guarantees. You're not getting that. With 15 points of information, they could actually increase it to more. You would never know as a consumer. How would you know? You wouldn't know until you get a speeding ticket in the mail. Maybe you have a problem and you get a letter for court. At what point is there a line in the sand? At what point do you want government intervention? At what point are you willing to give up this information? So that's why there needs to be some rules and regulations before we merely put black boxes and everything and put a blanket over it all.
All right, so I'm going to finish this by saying I've learned my lesson, and I promise never to do it again. Lauren Fix, thank you very much. I got to just ask you really quick, if you had your choice, Packard or Cord?
Ooh, I love the Cords. Although the Packards are really hot, too. Both are awesome, beautiful vehicles.
Anybody who loves cars is after my own heart. Thank you very much. We'll speak to you again a little bit later on.
Thank you.
In the Ukraine, this is what happens when